Welcome in. Starting on your back, bring the soles of the feet together, open your knees out wide, floating your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly, close your eyes. Start to notice the breath moving in and out through the nose and along the back of the throat, so right away you create the sound of ujjayi. And with the breath steady and deep, on the inhale, reach the arms down to the outside edges of your knees. Close your knees together, hug your knees into your chest. As you hug your knees into your chest, start to create some momentum, rocking forward and back along the length of the spine. You might rock 2, 3, or even 4 times. As you create that momentum, eventually rocking all the way up, cross the ankles, roll over the hands and knees, and head right back into downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers wide, lifting the sit bones up toward the sky. Feel your heels rooting down and into the floor, and notice that you haven't lost your breath. So with your head below your heart, there's this opportunity just to envision everything that's not in service of this time dumping out of your head and down into the mat. Every thought, every distraction, every sensation, let it all go and come right back to the sound of your breath so that this time does become a meditation in motion. With your breath set, on the inhale, float forward, upper push-up plank position. With your shoulders over your wrists and your heels pressing back, for a moment, float your right toes up and off the mat. As your heel drives back, notice that you haven't lost your left hip. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, right knee to your upper outer right arm. See if you can get it higher than your elbow. And if you can, hike it up as high as you can without losing the balance of your shoulders to your hips. And then could you float it a centimeter away from your arm? So rather than resting the knee on the arm, there's a little bit of space. Keep pulling your heart forward, keep lifting your knee up, and keep your back long and flat. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, step your right toes back and set them down, plank pose. Same thing, second side. Inhale, lift your left toes just 2 inches off of the mat. As your heel drives back, keep pulling your heart forward, lengthen through the spine. Take your left knee, upper outer left arm. If you can get it higher than the elbow, try to do that. And then once you have it up there, our tendency is to rest it. Could you pull it away? Even if it's just a centimeter or so, give it some space. Then notice what happened to your breath and notice what happened to your face. See if you can soften your face and come back to the sound of your breath. Take one more big inhale here. Step your left toes back, set them down to the mat. Take a goodbye breath, plank pose. Feel your forearms gather in, lower slow all the way down to the mat. Tops of the feet flat. Make sure your wrists are right underneath your elbows as your elbows hug in and point back. On the inhale, low cobra, lift your heart, roll your shoulders back, press the tops of your feet down, especially your pinky toe, even that roots down to the mat. As you exhale, lower slow, tuck your toes, lift your hips right up and back, downward facing dog. As you come into down dog, separate your feet about the distance of the hips, but if you're feeling tight today, they would be even just a little bit wider than that. Take a big inhale, press the chest back. As you exhale, gaze forward, bend your knees, step or lightly float to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold and melt in. On the inhale, sweep the arms out, rise high, and as you exhale, dive right over the thighs. Fold back in half. Inhale, glance out, lengthen through the back. Plant your hands as you exhale, step or shoot the toes to chaturanga, then the elbows bend. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, tuck the toes, and we're gonna go right into the flow. Take a big inhale, press the chest back, gaze forward, bend your knees, step or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, draw the heart out. Exhale, forward fold and melt. Inhale, sweep and rise on the breath. Exhale, fold forward, dive right in half. Inhale, glance out, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float to chaturanga. Big inhale, your back bend of choice. Exhale, tuck the toes, soft face as the thighs firm back. Take an inhale, stretch back. Look forward, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, draw the heart out. Exhale, forward fold and melt. On the breath, inhale, sweep and rise high. Exhale, forward fold as you dive. Inhale, lengthen the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, step or lightly shoot the toes back. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, tuck the toes and pause. Take a deep inhale in down dog. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. As you come to the back of the mat, grasp opposite elbows, let the head hang, let the chest pour over the thighs, and give yourself a breath. Let the shoulders be heavy, and maybe notice in the early moments of your practice the uptick in the rate of the heart and how nice it is to be in flow, that when we're in flow, we kind of bypass the thoughts. But you have to take the responsibility to keep coming back to the sound that your breath makes. Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, release your arms to the floor and pause at the back of your mat. Let your arms hang like a rag doll. Give your knees a tiny little bend. And then as slow as you can, roll up to standing. Your head is the last thing to come up at the top. Just stacking vertebrae by vertebrae. You feel that gentle drawing of the belly button back and in as you lift. As you reach the top, the palms spin forward toward the top of the mat. Heel toe your 2 feet together and bring your palms together to touch at the center of your chest. Take a moment, gaze out ahead of you, and look at something preferably that's not moving that you can rest your eyes on. And then tree pose. Take the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. If for any reason that's too high today, you can always take the modification and place the toes on the floor or below the knee on the calf. We just never want the foot on the knee joint. We want to protect that special, really safe place. The sole of the right foot is pressing into the left inner thigh, but the left inner thigh is pressing into the sole of the right foot. So you're like a suction cup at the center line. Once you're steady, send the arms up to the sky. As the arms reach high, notice that the shoulders are soft as the left foot roots. Take a deep inhale at the top. Hands to the heart as you exhale. Slide your right foot down to meet your left. And then right away into your second side, sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh or whatever variation you took on the first side. The hands begin at the heart, both hips point ahead, and one hip isn't higher than the other, they're on the same plane. As you feel ready, extend the arms up, but if for any reason you needed to stay at the heart, that would be fine. There's a beautiful story from an African healer who says that greatness is embodied in trees, that trees stand still for ages, and yet without us even being aware of it, they grow up and down simultaneously. Feel how you're doing both right now, rooting down into the floor and projecting up toward the sky. Take a big inhale at the top, hands to the heart as you exhale. Slide your left foot down to meet your right. Heel toe your feet away from each other about the distance of the hips. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky. See if you can stay with some of that stillness. Dive and fold as you exhale over your thighs. Gently crawl your way back out, downward facing dog as you take your time. As you re-reach the top of your mat, on the inhale, lift your right leg up and back. As you exhale, step your right foot forward, spin your back foot flat, and line your front heel up with your back arch. Bring your right hand to the inside edge of your right foot and send your left arm to the sky. Coming into side angle pose, feel how your right thigh descends parallel to the mat. And 2 things are happening. Your tailbone is dragging towards your back left heel as you wrap your right thigh underneath you and towards your face. Take a big inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Use the exhale to extend the left arm out and over the head toward the front of the room. For most of us, that arm is over the cheek rather than over the ear as you spin the heart up to face the sky. Keep the right waist really long as the heart draws forward and out. Send your left arm to the sky. Pause here. Feel your belly button hug back towards your spine. With your core engaged, press to second warrior and spread your arms out wide. Spin your palms down to the floor. Gaze over your right middle finger and let the right thigh cook. Always noticing that your right knee is above your right ankle. It's never beyond your right ankle. If that's the case, you need to be wider in your stance. Keep the arms spreading wide, keep the chest open, and then just straighten your right leg. Pull your right hip back. Pause at the top. Maybe there's a little micro bend in your right knee so you don't go past straight. Then heel toe your back foot in once or maybe twice. Back foot on an angle, left toes point slightly forward, left heel slightly back. Triangle pose, reach your right arm out, pull your right hip back, right hand comes down, left arm to the sky. You're gonna feel a stretch across the top of your left hip. So the left hip angles slightly forward to the top left corner of your mat. Stay here and try to separate your shoulder blades away from the center of your spine. So same thing like tree pose, you're growing down through the sole of the right foot and the right fingertips at the same time that you're growing up through the left hand. Take a big inhale here. Gaze down at your right big toe. Start to bend your right knee, shift your weight forward and step up. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Flex your left toes towards your face. Drive your left heel back, and then notice that your foot isn't so far behind you. You bring it down in front of you until you could see it. If you look down the edge of your body, you could gaze back and see your toes. Beautiful. Some of us might stay right here. This would be a great place to be. If Chapasana is part of your practice, bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, and take a hold of the top of your left foot. Rolling your left shoulder down your back. If you do that, kick the foot into the hand and open up the chest. Continue to drag the right thigh underneath you and toward the face, and notice that you don't go anywhere that stagnates the breath. You can still breathe fluidly without constraint. Take one more big inhale at the top. If you have the foot, come back to half moon and pause. Left leg back, left arm straight up. Take a goodbye inhale here. Start to bend your right knee, lightly step back, warrior two. Spread your arms out, pause as you sit deep on the exhale. Reverse it on an inhale, right arm up and overhead. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat. Step your right toes back, lower slow and release. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog as you lift the chest. Exhale, down dog, tuck the toes, press everything back. Pause here and step your 2 feet together at the back of your mat. On the inhale, float forward, upper push-up plank position. Right hand might need to shift right underneath your right shoulder as you pivot to the outer edge of your right foot. Send your left arm to the sky, stacking your left shoulder on top of your right. Seeing if you can, stay steady. Tree pose inside plank. Bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Beautiful, you guys. Drawing your hips directly on top of each other, resisting the urge to turn it into a back bend. Send your left hip toward the wall that you face. On your inhale, look down at the top of your mat. Step your left foot forward right underneath your left shoulder at the top of your mat into a high lunge. Right toes rooting down into the floor, right heel pressing back, both hands down either side of your left foot. On the inhale, rise to crescent pose, circle the arms to the sky, stack the shoulders over the hips, dropping the tailbone down low to the mat. Take a deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, hands to the heart, pause. Start to lean out halfway, shift your weight forward, step up, warrior three. With your outer right hip spinning down toward the floor and your right heel driving back, just a moment here. On your inhale, rise to standing, hug your right knee into your chest. Right hand around your right knee, left hand to your left hip, pause. 2 options for you. Some of us will continue to hold the knee with the right hand. Some of us might take the first 2 fingers, reach down and hook the big toe, and start to extend the leg towards straight. Whether your leg is straight or whether your knee is bent, both are great options. Pause at the top. On your next inhale, start to open the right knee or the right foot out to the right. Now notice what all the girls did here. Their hips stayed side by side. The right hip didn't lift up higher than the left. They're one long line of energy. So their pants stay parallel toward the front of the room. On the inhale, come back through the center. Keep the right leg where it is. Send the arms up to the sky. If the knee is bent, see if you can straighten the leg and flex the toes to the face. Take a big inhale at the top. As you exhale, right foot meets the left. Bring the hands to the heart. Close the eyes and pause. And notice you're not creating a bunch of drama around it, right? So we know that the leg is tired, we know that you've been working, and you're just gonna breathe. You're not gonna make it harder than it needs to be. You're just gonna come back to the sound of your breath. Then root your right foot to the floor and bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Tree pose, standing on your right leg. With your hands at your heart, take an inhale and send your arms to the sky. And as you send your arms to the sky, take a moment, keep the shoulders soft, and we're just gonna play with fallen tree pose. Right arm's gonna stay where it is. The left hand is gonna drop in front of your body, in front of your left thigh. Good, and then as you exhale, right arm up and over the head, reach it out. And just see how far you can go. Risk falling down. Risk staying with your breath. Risk breathing into the pose rather than constricting the breath to do it perfectly. See how far you can reach that right hand. On the inhale, come back through the center, left arm comes up to meet the right. Exhale, hands to the heart, left foot slides down to meet the right, inner edges of the feet connect. On the inhale, circle the arms to the sky, deep breath as you rise, hold there, interlace your fingers and press the heel of your hand to the sky. Keep dropping your tailbone down toward the floor so you're long through the spine. Pop up onto your toes, lift your heels up and off the mat. Start to bend your knees and squat all the way down until your sit bones are resting on your heels, just a little toe squat. Heel of the hand still pressing up, shoulders still drawing down the back. Separate your knees wide away from each other. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, plant your two hands down in front of you. Walk your hands out. As you walk your hands forward, get long through the spine, get long through the sides of the waist. And feel how the inner edges of your feet are still connected, even though you're popped up onto your toes, even though your heels are lifting up and off the mat. On your next inhale, walk your hands back. As you walk your hands back, ground your hands right underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers wide. Lift your hips up toward the sky, walk your knees up onto the shelf that your arms create as your elbows point back, Bakasana. Today, maybe one toe lifts and then the next. Maybe both toes lift as you draw up from that place that we talked about, Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha as you lift. Gazing forward, take a big inhale here. Step or shoot the toes back, lower slope. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog as you lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it all back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, the left leg lifts to the sky. As you exhale, step the left foot forward, pivot the back foot flat, and bring your left hand to the inside edge of your left foot as your right arm sweeps up toward the sky. Your front heel lining up with your back arch, your right thigh pressing back. Feel yourself a long dynamic line of energy, good as the tail tucks toward the back of the mat. Big inhale at the top, right arm out and over as you exhale to extend. Pinky finger spinning down toward the floor, thumb spinning toward the sky if you can. As you wrap the chest open, continue to stay long through the sides of the waist. On the inhale, right arm to the sky. Feel your belly button hug back towards your spine. Press to second warrior, spread your arms out wide. Palms face down, shoulders descend down the back, and as you gaze ahead at the horizon, give yourself a moment here. You know that a break's coming, so give yourself a breath to strengthen as you sit deep. Take a goodbye inhale. Straighten your left leg, keeping your arms elevated, just heel toe your back foot in a little bit. On a gentle angle, right toes point slightly forward, right heel slightly back. Inhale, triangle pose, reach the left arm out, get as long as you can get. Right arm to the sky, stack the shoulders and open up the chest. See that the sides of the waist can stay really long, right ribs softening, left ribs reaching out. Maybe you're gazing up toward that thumb. You pick a place that's best for your neck. Take a deep inhale here. Keep your chest open. Gaze down toward the floor. Bend your left knee. Step forward. Step up. Ardha Chandrasana. It just means that your back right leg floats up and off the mat. Toes flexing back toward the face, and this might be plenty. If that's the case, stay here. But if you took it on the first side, start to bend your right knee. Begin to reach back with your right hand and take a hold of the top of the foot. Rolling the shoulder down the back. Notice how the base of the pose stays exactly the same. The left toes point forward, so the left knee is safe. As the heart opens, take one more big inhale. Release the right foot if you took a hold of it. Pause in half moon. Reach the right arm up. Take one more deep breath. Start to bend your left knee. Step back. Second warrior. Spread the arms out wide. Sit on the exhale. Reverse it on an inhale. Left arm up and overhead. Cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step the left toes back. Lower slow and release to the floor. Inhale, cobra or upward facing, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back. At the back edge of your mat, step your feet together. Inner edges of the feet connect. On the inhale, float forward, upper push-up plank position. Heels pressing back, hands rooting to the mat. Maybe you step your left hand in a little bit as you roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Side plank pose, the feet stack, the feet flex, your hips are right on top of each other. If you have it, tree pose, lift your right foot, sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. All the same work here. So resisting the urge to lean back, send that right hip to the direction your gaze faces. Take one more big inhale at the top, look forward to the top of your mat and lightly step your right foot underneath your right shoulder as you spin onto your back left toes. Right hand comes down to the outside edge of the right foot. On your inhale, rise, crescent pose, circle the arms to the sky. Tailbone down low, thigh parallel to the mat. Take a deep inhale at the top. Hands to the heart as you exhale. Lean out halfway, shift forward. Third warrior is your inhale. As you float above the mat, you just here for a second, take a beat to cultivate inner balance, even if outer balance isn't there today. On your inhale, float to standing, left knee hugs up and into the chest, left hand to the left knee, right hand to the right hip and pause. You might stay right here. If you have the space, the first two fingers of the left hand hook the left big toe. Maybe the left leg extends forward toward the top of the mat. Keep the chest open and continue to maybe hold on to the knee, and then either the foot or the knee opens out to the left. Notice you don't lift the leg up, you don't lift the hip up, it just opens out to the amount that you have today so the hips stay centered. On the inhale, back to the center, knee or foot point ahead. Keep the leg where it is, send the arms to the sky. If the knee is bent, extend the leg towards straight. Take a deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, left foot meets the right, hands to the heart. Close the eyes, take a second, give yourself a breath. Feel the sweat on the skin, feel the heart pulsing, feel the blood in the body, all these things that drop you right into the present moment, right into the here and now. On the inhale, blink the eyes open. Tree pose, sole of the right foot to the left inner thigh. Feel all four corners of your left foot rooting down into the mat. And then as you inhale, send both arms to the sky. As both arms sweep to the sky, just release the right hand down in front of your body and take the left arm up and over your head on your out breath. Into a fallen tree pose, just a side stretch. And sense that you could breathe into your left side waist, breathe into your left lung. Take it as far as you can. Find your limit, find your edge, play with it. On the inhale, back through the middle, right arm comes up to meet the left, hands come to the heart, bring it into center, slide the right foot down to meet the left. On the inhale, circle your arms to the sky, interlace your fingers, press the heel of your hand up high. Rise onto your toes, lift the heels up and off the mat. As you exhale, bend your knees back down, squatting on the toes, pause at the top. On your inhale, separate your knees. As you exhale, plant your fingertips down to the mat, walk your chest out. Take this as a little momentary break, capturing length through the spine, elongating through the sides of the waist. And then on the inhale, walk the hands back in the distance of the shoulders. Plant the hands down on the mat, lift your hips up, wrap your outer arms toward the back of the mat, bend your elbows, make a shelf. Walk your knees up. Your gaze stays ahead as your hips lift. Take a goodbye inhale, step or shoot the toes to the back of the mat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, tuck the toes and press it back. Beautiful. Take a big inhale, stretch back. As you exhale, lower your knees to the mat. Crawl your knees forward, cross your ankles behind you, roll onto your sit bones, and bring the soles of your feet together. Knees open out wide. Reach down and hook your big toes with your first two fingers. Hug your heels in and keep your elbows hugging in, so you never put any weight on your thighs or your knees. Take a big inhale at the top. Exhale, draw your heart forward and out, long through the spine, long through the back. A little tuck of the chin, so the back of the neck is really long like the rest of the spine. Soften the shoulders down the back. And really sweet, you can hear the sound of the breath just filling the space of your mat. Beautiful, you guys. Keeping the toes hooked. On the inhale, lift your chest. And as you lift your chest, open your legs up wide, spread your heels, kick your feet out. Your knees might stay bent, your legs might stay straight. See if you can find the place that's right for you as you send energy out of your heels and then lift up through your mid-back. Yes, take a big inhale at the top. Bring your legs together side by side. As your legs come together, your knees might bend. Release your hands, reach your fingertips forward, Navasana, as you lift through your mid-back. Beautiful. See if you can suck your shoulder heads back, spread through your toes. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, lower down halfway and pause. Toes reach forward, crown of the head reaches back. Gaze at your toes, drag your belly button to the mat. Take one more big inhale and exhale, release all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. As you squeeze your knees into your chest, give them a little rock, give them a little roll. And then really gently plant both feet flat down to the mat. As you plant both feet flat down to the mat, cross your right ankle over your left knee, flex your right foot, reach down and draw your left thigh into your chest. Just a moment here as you wrap your right thigh forward, reclining pigeon pose, right foot actively flexing. As you actively flex your right foot, keep the back of your head heavy. Take one more big inhale. Plant your left foot down to the mat, release your right foot to the floor, switch sides, left ankle over your right knee, flex your left foot, reach down and draw your right thigh into your chest. Taking a couple of breaths, maybe the eyes are closed, and sense all the space that you've created in the seat of the body. Take one more deep inhale. Plant your right foot to the mat. Release your left foot to the floor. Spread your arms out wide away from your body and heel toe your feet open a little wider than your hips. And then as you exhale, drop both knees to the right. And as you drop both knees to the right, if there's any injury in the left knee, you're gonna stay like this. If the left knee is healthy, maybe the right foot rests on top of the outer edge of the left knee, drawing that knee down toward the mat. Belly open, belly soft. Backs of the shoulders heavy down into the mat. If the right foot floated up, slide it back down to the floor. Spin both feet flat to the mat. Keep the feet open wider than the hips. Drop both knees over to the left. And this side might be different. If this knee is different, honor this side. Otherwise, left foot slides to the outer edge of the right knee, gently encouraging the thigh to the floor. But if there's any sensation in the right knee, let it go. Breathing down into your back. On the inhale, coming back through the center, spin the right foot flat, uncross the left ankle, reach down, hug and squeeze the knees into the chest. Wrap the forearms around the knees, give yourself one last big squeeze. Take a goodbye inhale at the top, and open the mouth. Let the arms go, let the legs go. Spin the palms up to face the sky and let the body get heavy to the mat. And probably our greatest expression of stillness, Shavasana. See if you can embody the stillness that you found when you were balancing in tree, and maybe the stillness that you found between your thoughts as you flowed today. If you have time at home to stay here, please stay here and rest. If you need to get on with your day, it was wonderful practicing with you. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.